Okay, what kinds of aid are there out there? You know, somebody says, well, if my kid needs $20,000, it's all going to be loans. No, it's not. These are the annual limits. Loans, by the way, have to be paid back, as the name suggests. And there are good loans and bad loans. These are good loans, if there is such a thing. And if you look at the amounts on each year, in the freshman year, the maximum subsidized loan is $3,500. The sophomore year, $4,500. Junior, senior, fifth year, another $5,500 each year. Those are subsidized loans. That's need-based financial aid. And subsidized means that because they're need-based loans, they're going to be A, cheaper, and B, while the student's in college and up to 2 years beyond, the interest will not accrue and the loan doesn't have to be paid back. So that's a pretty good loan. And right now, as long as Congress does anything at all, the amount of the interest on those loans is 3.4%. It's been dropping every year from the old rate of 6.8%. In addition to those subsidized loans, there's an additional loan that's being used a lot called an unsubsidized loan, and each year the student can get $2,000 of an unsubsidized loan as well. It really technically is not need-based aid. It's more expensive than the subsidized loan, and the downside of an unsubsidized loan is they're due and payable while the student's in college. You can opt not to pay on them, but the interest will start accruing while the student's in college. In addition to those loans, there's a Perkins loan, which is a 5% loan, and that's up to the college's discretion to give those out. And right now, typically you can get $4,000 or $5,000, and a very needy student can get a Perkins loan. I put this thing called a PLUS loan down there. PLUS stands for Parent Loan for Undergraduate Student. It's an insidious loan. It was a loan that was developed by Congress so that parents who couldn't pay the family contribution could have a resource that they could go to borrow relatively cheap, flexible money to help them pay the family contribution. It was never intended at any time to be need-based financial aid. I'm going to revisit the PLUS loans in a few minutes, and I want you to pay attention. PLUS loans can be useful if you got a lot of money, you don't want to spend it, and you'd rather borrow. You can use a PLUS loan. It's a very useful tool to help you maintain your wealth. So that's one form of aid. That's called self-help aid. Then there's grants and scholarships. This is the free stuff. And currently, Congress has reauthorized for very low-income people up to $5,500 in a Pell Grant. Most of you who are middle income and above, when you fill out a FAFSA, you're going to get a big announcement. If the numbers you have given us are correct, you do not qualify for a Pell Grant. And people say, oh my God, I'm not going to get any financial aid. No, it means you're just not going to get a Pell Grant. And frankly, it's better not to qualify for it than qualify for it. Then there's campus-based grants and scholarships, lots of those. They call them scholarships, but truth be told, about 90% of them are based on financial need. They ought to call them neederships because they give very few merit scholarships out. I mean, Ivy League schools don't give any merit scholarships out at all. It's all need-based. So those are the grants and scholarships, and you want to get some of those babies because you don't have to pay them back. The third form of aid I really like. It's called federal work study. The kid gets a job around campus, and he can work off typically between $3,000 and $5,000 a year. And the work study assignment is based around the student's workload. There's a lot of choices. Some kids just want to get it over with every day, so they serve breakfast at one of the cafeterias. Other kids want to use it as part of their study, so you're a pre-med student, you got work study, they try to get a job in the bio lab or the chem lab because it could be useful for their education. If you get work study and you need money and your kid doesn't care where he or she works, I have a suggestion for you. Have them work at the financial aid office. I mean it. You will not be wanting a financial aid, particularly if your kid's a good kid. If he's not a good kid, have him serve breakfast. But if he's a good kid, have him work in the financial aid office. And that is very good advice, by the way. The nice thing about work study is that the money you make doesn't count as student income. It's excluded from the formula. So if the work study puts a student's income over $6,000, you can reduce the number by the amount of that he or she got in work study. I think the work study gives kids an advantage. I think kids who are part of the workforce of a college, those kids always seem to get the classes they want, they get better dorm rooms, they get a better deal all the way around because they know who to talk to.